G'day team, Jujubear here, welcome back to the channel. Now I'm going to be playing a pretty cool battle of Altdorf against a dude who brought a pretty strong Empire build here. He's got 3 of those Demigryph Knights with halberds, always going to be a prick to deal with. He's got 3 of these three of those fucking crossbowmen and 2 of these handgunners, and also 4 of those greatswords, which are actually pretty good in melee combat. His general is going to be, I think it's just a normal, what do you call it? General of the Empire, I believe. Anyway, for my army, I have brought the Vampire Counts. I've got 4 of these Fellbats up the front to deal with enemy cannons or artillery. He doesn't actually have any cannons or artillery, so I'm going to go and make a beeline straight for his ranged units to keep them busy and stop them from firing upon my my own units. So I've got a couple of lines of skeleton warriors, 1, 2, 3, 4, just meat shielding, and I got a couple of skeleton spearmen to deal with enemy cav. Over here, I've got the same situation over here, and I've also got black knights, which are going to be anti-cav also. Now I've got a couple of these Vargeists, which are going to be hopefully pretty useful in dealing with enemy skirmishes as well. So I'm going to charge in here. Wow, absolutely, the impact of some of these units is amazing. He's going to get a nice charge in here with the Demigryph Knights, so I'm going to come in here and counter him with these Black Knights and hopefully get these Skeleton Spearmen in on the fight fairly soon. The Vargeists also coming in here and destroying a number of these crossbowmen. Want to get them off the field because they are a very big threat to me. I've also got a Vargulf getting into these greatswords. Being a monstrous infantry, they are quite good against infantry there. I've also got old mate fucking Manfred von Castiron. And my skeleton warriors are so slow, man. I'm trying to get them to keep up with the rest of my units. I'm actually going to lose out a couple of these flying units before I can even reach combat with the other units. So, taken a while. It's taken a while to get into combat. Though I am finishing off a number of these handgunners, which is great. These crossbowmen fared a little bit better where they weren't being attacked by Vargeists. But yeah, these guys are fucking frightening. Doing a lot of damage straight off the bat. Skeleton Spearmen getting right where I need them to be, which is into the enemy cav. And my skeletons... Oh, it's more Skeleton Spearmen getting into the crossbowmen. That'll probably go pretty well for me. These Skeleton Warriors, again, getting into combat where they can actually win. These guys probably won't fare too well against the greatswords, but I have got 2 Graveguard with great weapons up the back. These guys will be pretty punishing if they do get into combat with the right unit. And I'm going to be sending one of them straight for the greatswords, just because that's going to be their ideal target. Now, my Vargulf is actually in the right place, getting into these greatswords, and I'm actually... I don't know what these Vargeists are doing up here. Yeah, they're just kind of circling. I guess they scare enemy units, is that right? Frenzy. They probably got some kind of scare ability. Anyway, these crossbowmen are kind of circling around. Didn't know what they were doing, but all these fucking Demigryph Knights with halberds, even though they're not getting a good charge or anything like that, they are still managing to deal with my Skeleton Spearmen, which sucks. So I'm going to start to bring a Graveguard with great weapons over here to see if I can deal with them. I've also got another Skeleton Warrior and a number of different units left in the field that can. So, it's working out pretty well for me. I smashed into the enemy, I got rid of his missile units, and I'm using these Vargeists, these flying monstrous creatures, to deal with the enemy units that have bailed out of the fight. Now, these Black Knights got a half-hearted charge into the back of this combat here, and my Graveguard with great weapons are actually standing up pretty well to these great swords, getting a number of kills as well. How do they stack up in terms of stats? It'll be interesting to find out. 100 armor versus 90 armor. Leadership is going to be probably... Oh, wow, it's way better on my units. But they get crumbling, though. My units are a little bit... same speed. Melee attack. Melee attack's a little bit lower on mine. Melee defense is a little bit higher on them. Weapon strength, however, is a little bit higher on mine. And the charge bonus is better on them. So, all in all, the greatswords are actually an excellent infantry unit. But I can match them fairly well with my own Graveguard with great weapons. So I've been able to nullify them for the most part. Skeleton Warriors being shot in the back by these crossbowmen. I'm going to have to deal with them at some point. I do have my... here we go. I do have my Vargeists over here who are going to get an absolutely punishing charge. Oh man, that is fucking frightening. Oh shit. As if you wouldn't shit your pants a little bit. these guys do not stand a chance. And that's kind of what they're most useful for. I guess for this battle anyway, I was using them to great effect to just get rid of enemy units that have been broken. Because I've kind of noticed that that's a big theme in Total War Warhammer. You have a lot of different units that always come back. I mean, if they're broken, there's a massive chance that that unit is going to come back into the fight. What I'm doing over here is I'm using Manfred von Carstein. He has a spell called Spirit Leech, and I'm going to be using it on the enemy general. Spirit Leech is a very powerful... oh, whoa, look at his horse. He looks sick. But yeah, Spirit Leech is like one of the only spells that I use because it's good against single enemy units, and that includes the enemy general. So you can kind of almost snipe an enemy general using that Spirit Leech ability. These Demigryph Knights, I don't think they've got heaps of kills. Well, 109 actually, that's heaps. And they didn't even get like that many like awesome charges as well. So he could really charge in here and just destroy my Graveguard if he wanted to. But he's I guess he's trying to regroup at this point. Over here, my Vargeist, again, just doing a great job. 159 kills on those guys, finishing off different units around the battlefield. Skeleton Spearmen being very scary. These guys all run in unison, which is hilarious. Me and Conceivable were kind of like laughing about that the other day when we played together. That it's like a scene of Thriller, Michael Jackson. Look at them go, just like dancing their way across the battlefield. Wait a second. It's kind of ridiculous. I love it. It's not a bad thing. That kind of stuff does not matter in a game like this. But I don't know. It's just kind of funny when you're playing a game that's like not made for realism, but you want it for good effect. Like everything looks cool. But then you got these fucking skeleton spearmen who are like doing the dance from Thriller as they move up in the fight. But anyway, these Demigryph Knights are going to be charging into my very cheap skeleton warriors, which is okay with me. They're going to do a lot of damage. He's a little bit narrow formation to make an absolute like massive impact on this, but yeah, you're going to see them just absolutely cream those guys. I don't think the mass on these skeleton spears or skeleton warriors are very high, so not going to do too well. Again, Spirit Leech is being used again, and I'm actually going to be able to kill the enemy general there. Not before these fucking, oh my god, these Demigryph Knights follow him up and end up destroying the rest of my skeleton spearmen. So a nice last hurrah from the enemy Demigryph Knights, but it's going to be a little bit too little, a little bit too late. And I'm going to be using, again, these Vargeists to great effect, finishing off enemy units and, you know, finishing the deal here. My Vargulf, again, this guy regenerates health, and he's almost down to half, but I'm going to be finishing off a lot of these Demigryph Knights here. And you're going to see a very nice rear charge from these Vargeists as well. Yeah, I'm witnessing true power. I know he keeps talking throughout the battle. It's like, yeah, like, that's cool, man. Like, why don't you just keep on doing what you're doing? So yeah, it looks like we have broken a number of these units. Demigryph Knights are starting to break, so good game. I actually really like playing the as these guys. Who the fuck are they? What's their name? Jesus. Massive blank. Vampire Counts. I really like playing as the Vampire Counts because you have like, it's a kind of like a nice, like an odd combination. You got like really squishy like shithouse units, and then you've also got some pretty like strong infantry and some very strong you know, monstrous beasts as well. So definitely going to be a good combination depending on how you use it. And the magic is pretty good. I think Manfred von Carstein has some pretty serious spells. I really should be like looking into what different laws and you know, magic spells do, because at this point I can admit I don't know a whole lot about the magic in this game. Anyway, yeah, as you'd expect, look at these Demigryph Knights, 255, 215, 204. It's so hard to kill off these guys. There are only like, how many men in a unit? I don't even know, but like, it's so hard to kill off even one of these guys. Ridiculous stuff. All the enemy skirmishers didn't do too well. They kind of got picked off before they could make a real effect in the battle. But the great swords, man, like getting a lot of kills. Doing exceptionally well, even where they were coming up against, you know, monstrous infantry. They actually managed to destroy one of my Vargeists pretty easily there. And the enemy general of the Empire doing pretty well as well. Anyway, thank you, Marshall, for the game, and thank you for watching. This is Jujubear signing out. We'll see you next time. Peace.